for accepting the invitation to this interview on civic education. So my first question would be, can you give a basic definition of the term civic education?
For me, civic education has to do a lot with democracy and experiencing democracy. I come from Germany, and we have a twofold culture of civic education. We have civic education in school, in which the core is to learn about the institutions, the processes, how laws are being made. And we have the out-of-school education, the non-formal civic education, and that's more what I stand for. I think it's important to have knowledge, but it's also important to understand that democracy is a form of life and that we can experience it and share our living together. So even when we have a conflict and we start talking together, then even the issue of civic education is starting.
Right. What do you think the importance of civic education lies?
Well, first of all, maybe to start with Germany, I think we are losing a lot of trust in institutions, in politics, in politicians especially. Politicians are the least liked people in the country, actually, in Germany and maybe also in other countries around the world. And this is a problem because people turn away from politics, from the political processes, from institutions. And I think civic education, in the way I described before, can reanimate the trust and also maybe the active participation of citizens into this system. And the second point is that, as you know, we have a wave of populism, of right-wing extremism also around the globe, of religious extremism, and all these people pretend to have easy answers, and also people think with lacking trust, they think, yeah, maybe there's some alternative to democracy. Let's have easy answers, not have these conflicts and talk so much, but just let's do it. And this is a big danger for democracy. So I think in civic education we have to inspire people that this equal eye level and living together in a tolerant way is very important.
In Morocco, for example, this idea of civic education is like still young and it's still evolving. In your country, what's the status of it? Is it well developed or is it still?
Ironically, we have a very good civic education scene in Germany because of the fact that we lost the Second World War, which is, it's in a way tragic. But the Allies, in this case, especially the Americans, they had this plan to re-educate the Germans because they said after the dictatorship we have to really educate them towards democracy, which is also a little bit problematic. It was in a very linear or maybe also brainwashing way, but at least it has led to the fact that we have many institutions that installed civic education as a really important part of our self-understanding in Germany. So the status is strong on the one hand. On the other hand, during the last 20, 30 years, we've seen an abolition of many institutions of civic education because the economic and neoliberal wave around the globe has led to the fact that in school, but also in other institutions, people said, oh, it's more important to know how to read and write, how to calculate, how to have an economic conscience, and civic education is not so important, it's more like culture. But now with the wave of populism and extremism, we have a shift again, and at the moment, for example, I'm a freelancer in civic education, we can apply for good funds if we want to do projects, because the government and the state themselves have realized we need this strategically if we want to protect democracy.
Okay, and maybe one last thing, would you, as we are in a fetus status in Morocco, would you give us some pieces of advice or whatever you call them, recommendations that we would improve?
I think from my personal experience, and what I like about this type of civic education very much is that it motivates and inspires me every day. It's creative. And I think once you operate with words like you should understand, or it is important, or we have to, then people will turn away from this because they feel like civic education is like some duty and I don't want to be pushed in this direction. So I think it's a good idea to find settings, to find spaces of joy, of entertainment, where people realize that this is a creative and active process, and I can be part of this construction of the future, and then I feel motivated to go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you also for the interview.